You know, it was inevitable, like Thanos. It's inevitable at some point that someone will request this hot tag video. So, on that note, I want to say thank you for Corey, NBA, doing this because, as you guys know, Johnny Gargano is not only my favorite wrestler in NXT, he's arguably my favorite wrestler in the WWE right now. And if we want to go global, the work that he does in the ring right now, that is the guy. He, we talk about in chat. If you could wrestle anyone, who would it be? This would be at the top of the list. The exception to that is The Undertaker. It would have to be at WrestleMania and a loss. But if we're talking about random date, no specific match type, no specific pay-per-view or specific event, Johnny Gargano is the guy that I'd want to wrestle with. I would take the loss. I have tremendous amount of respect for him. I've talked about it when I met him at WrestleMania Access. I just fangirled, fanboyed, whatever. I couldn't help it. That is that dude. Like, he is that guy for me. Um, so that said, let's talk about some of his best matches. We're going to stick specifically to the WWE because if we want to take it outside of that, you could look at a certain tag team in AEW. You may know who I'm talking about. And DIY going head to head way back in the day. Well, maybe not way back in the day, but before his time with NXT, or fully with NXT. I believe that was that late 2000? It had to be late 2015 against the Young Bucks. They lost. I'm pretty sure it's 2015, but it's before NXT really got kicked off. Um, that said, I've been following him for a long time, so that doesn't make a difference. Anyway, let's talk. So this is going to be narrowed to NXT. I've already soapboxed for 2 minutes. This will kill in time, but man, I love Johnny Wrestling. I really, really do. So let's talk about some of his best matches. Best and top, you can swap those words. It makes no difference to me. It's a personal list, so it's my opinion. Top matches, best matches are going to be the same. I will say, undoubtedly, we're just going to start at the top. My favorite Johnny Gargano match is NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. One, because I got to go and see it live. Two, it was his first time winning and maybe his only time winning the NXT Championship. Great storytelling, a great match back and forth with Adam Cole. But even with the interference from the Undisputed Era, even with the Panama Sunrise in the last shot, the Heart, he fights through, he wins. Big moment. Tommaso comes out on the stage. They have the hug. Huge moment. Super, super cool. That is by far going to be my favorite match. And I'm going to stick with Adam Cole for just a second here because that's not even their best match. So I can differentiate between those two in this instance because their match, the 2 out of 3 falls, was their best match. One of those matches where even though Johnny lost and I kind of saw the writing on the wall, I still stood up and clapped when it was over. It is an amazing match. Let me give you the dates. So I have those on the side. So that match was at TakeOver Toronto. That was August 10th, 2019. So TakeOver Toronto 2019. Look it up. Amazing match. The first fall, he used the chair to get disqualified. Adam was the one that brought it in. Then he used a low blow too. And then Johnny got the chair to shrug his shoulders, beat his ass, and hey, you take the first loss in the fall 1, but then it ends up leading you to winning fall 2 pretty easily. And then the craziness in fall 3 with the cage with all the weapons up top, and then that crazy spot at the end. Ugh, man. Amazing. Amazing. So that's already 2 without him all out the door. So I'm going to actually take, because I know everyone's already watching this thinking, Tommaso. I'm going to hold off on him for just a second because there is another match that deserves attention. 2. 1, I need the date. We have, God, my notes are sloppy. They're not organized. Takeover Brooklyn, convenient. 2017, his first title shot for the NXT Championship against Andrade Cien Almas. Of course, we know the Cien Almas has been dropped since, but again, another great match. So it's one of those things. Him and Andrade have such great chemistry in the ring, but it's just art. They both look good coming out of the match. It didn't matter who won. They both are going to look good because they both get their opportunity to shine. NXT does a good job of making sure if it's not a squash, both combatants have their time where they look extremely serviceable in the ring. Like you see the best of what they can do in the ring, and then you just have the ending for the match. And it's great storytelling in the end. You have Selena Vega, if you didn't know, that is Andrade's manager, throw a DIY shirt at Johnny, and it makes him pause and freeze because some backstory. Him and Tommaso Ciampa, DIY, great tag team, and Tommaso turned his back on him. Injured too. He had the injury. I can't remember what it was, a torn ACL or MCL, but he was out for a while. But he turned his back on Johnny and beat him down after the match, and obviously the end of the tag team. And he just hesitated just long enough that it opened up the door for Andrade to walk right through and get the win. Sad, but it was a great match. So I wanted to give that match some props. And now we can focus on Tommaso. So before I even talk about the singles, because there's a lot to talk about with them, trust me, I want to focus on DIY first. Now, I love DIY. I love Johnny Gargano, but him and Tommaso have great chemistry in the ring. They're a tag team before even coming in too, so they've done some work together. But man, the Revival, I hate that I'm happy they're released from the WWE because they can go and have creative freedom to be better than they were able to be in the WWE. They are a very good tag team. Arguably, to me, the best tag team in the world right now. Hey, I said it. In the ring, I feel like they're second to none compared to any other tag team that currently exists right now. That's my opinion. And they had a 2 out of 3 falls match. That was at TakeOver Toronto. Toronto seems to be a theme for Johnny, doesn't it? 2016. Their first, Tommaso and Johnny's first title win. The double submission, the double tap out. 2 out of 3 falls match. Amazing match. The best match of the show. And I feel like, honestly, with Johnny, a lot of those matches, if you like his style, you can say that. It was an amazing match. By far, like, it was just mind blowing. They, again, chemistry in the ring. If you have a wrestler that is great and you put him with a average talent, it makes the average talent look really good. But that guy still shines. Or, lady, female still shines, and it does no harm to them. It just raises their opponent. But when you have both sides are equally talented, it's just art. It's an amazing match. Even more so was the triple threat. I don't remember the date now. It was after that though. So if that was 2016 takeover, right? Like 2017 takeover. That means going into Mania, they lost the titles. It was a triple threat tag team match with the Revival getting their rematch, but also AOP was the Authors of Pain were involved in that match. Authors of Pain won, but man, they still the revival and just DIY are just so good together. You gotta watch that match. You have to watch that match. It's one of the best tag team matches I've seen over the last 5 years. Now, Tommaso. We know they have a storied history between them. They are amazing friends. If you follow either one of them on social media, you see that they are amazing friends. They are literally like brothers. So it's not a surprise to see when they get in the ring together, seeing how they spend so much time together. so much of their lives intersect, and then they're constantly around each other because of the business, that their matches, their singles matches, provided some of the most entertaining content NXT has had to provide ever. I will even go as far to say it is the best storyline that NXT has ever produced. I don't know if it can be topped. At least right now, it won't be in the near future. But man, their story is extremely unique. Is great. We can talk about the ending at another time. I'm still kind of processing that match to think about. I like that John. Of course, I like that Johnny went over. But I want to take a step back and have some time to process what I saw. Maybe watch another time or two just so I can really dig deep and analyze and see how I feel about it. But there are two matches I want to bring up with Tommaso. The first one, believe it or not, is not the one you think it is. Because everyone initially thought, even when I was talking to Mason, he's like, oh, the first match you're going to say is their first trilogy. They had a match before that, the Cruiserweight Tournament. One-on-one, and that's how he advanced. He ended up losing to TJ Perkins, who was the one that ended up winning and becoming the first initial Cruiserweight champion in the WWE, since they brought it back. But they had a singles match while they were a tag team, and Johnny won. It was a pretty solid match. Like, wow, like these guys are really going at it. It just shows you, the competitiveness between the two. Is a really good match. It's an underrated match because no one really thinks about it. Because when they think about the Cruiserweight tournament, everyone immediately thinks of TJ Perkins because he won. He's already established in TNA. Everyone knew who he was. We know he can go in the ring. Cool. Him and Johnny had a solid match too. No complaints whatsoever. But Johnny lost. But the one that I wanted to give that one some love because that's a forgotten match. But the one that I wanted to bring up, because everyone talks about the ending to the trilogy and the second one being the better matches. The endings were fantastic. Don't get me wrong, the endings were fantastic. But that first initial one they had, the unsanctioned match, TakeOver 2018, New Orleans, WrestleMania weekend, tore the house down. Think about it. As far as I can remember, every NXT pay-per-view has ended, with the exception of War Games, has ended with the NXT Championship being defended, or the Women's Championship being defended. This was the first time that I can recall. I can be corrected. It's the first time I recall that the main event match, was not with the title on the line. Because their other two matches involved the championship because at that time he was the champ. Now I'm thinking. I take it back. The street fight, I don't think he was. The final match he was. I may be wrong on the street fight. But the unsanctioned match, it doesn't matter because the one that I care about anyway is the one that he won. And it's the unsanctioned match. Peeling back the mats. Like there's just so much carnage in that match, and for it ultimately to end, coming full circle with the crutch. The crutch that he used to hit him after he lost to Andrade the first time, and then the loser, if he loses, he leaves NXT, and then he cost him that match again with the crutch, and to have him to tap out, Gargano escape, and not only does he have it locked in, but he has it locked in with the crutch, just adding even more pressure to it. Comes full circle, story wise. It kind of sucks. I'm trying to think of another rivalry. It's like Cena Orton. You see it, and it's like that's not even a good one either. I can't think of a great wrestling rivalry right now that tells the story that I wanted to tell. Because the reason I bring it up is like it ended so well. You don't want to see more, but when they're in the ring, they produce greatness. So you can't help but feel like at some point, we get it. We're going to get more of it. But to me, that was the best match of that trilogy. I know the other two were really good. Tommaso won the other two. I have no problems with that. But man, That first match was something special. You just didn't know, an unsanctioned match. Didn't know what was going on going into that match. And man, they tore the house down. They tore the house down. It's a match that everyone was looking forward to. It didn't disappoint. I know some people, like, people are divided, Tommaso and Johnny. So people wanted Johnny or Tommaso to go over. Hey, I can't be mad at that. Can't be mad at that at all. So like I said, we'll talk about that final match that happened on NXT recently. We will talk about that in a whole nother show or video. But I wanted to get this out of my system because this was super important to me. So the next hot tag video will be the Dakota Kai one, requested by a Padres fan. It takes a little more research because I want to look into her work a little more. Johnny obviously stands out to me because that's a dude. I feel kind of sad I wasn't wearing a Johnny Gargano shirt during this. I feel like that would have been perfect, but hey, I do what I can do. The timing of this video is the main reason why I didn't feel like changing this. I need sleep. But thanks for watching. I will catch you guys in stream later. I think this will go up whenever. I don't know when this goes up. Regardless, I'll see you in stream. So have a good one, guys. Thanks for watching.